all he has to do is win those swing states, and he will come roaring back into the presidency.
How are you?
Well, I'm really just reeling from the thought that there is only a year to go. And if you had asked me whether I thought that Donald Trump could come back in the strong position that he's in after losing the 2020 election, and in particular after the January 6th riot at the Capitol, I would have been dumbfounded to see how he's leading the polls this morning.
And just give our listeners a glimpse, just some stats on how he's doing on the polls.
Well, the New York Times just published a poll today showing that Trump is leading Biden quite significantly in 5 swing states. And under the US electoral system, according to this bizarre electoral college, Trump was only about 44,000 votes away from the presidency last time, even though he lost the popular vote by a significant amount. So all he has to do is win those swing states, and he will come roaring back into the presidency.
And what's really interesting about all of this, Sarah, is it feels like, the more Donald Trump is dragged through the courts and he's facing all these charges, he seems to just rise and rise in his popularity. And at the same time, Joe Biden's actually delivering some quite good numbers on the economy, yet he doesn't seem to be getting the credit for it. Why is that?
Well, first of all, people consider him too old to run again in a way that they don't consider Donald Trump, who is several years his junior, although also 77, so no spring chicken. But I think it goes deeper than that. I do think that it has been a significant help to Donald Trump that he never admitted to losing the election. I know we've all been laughing at his cries of that it was stolen or rigged, but actually it has helped him persuade his own side that he is not a loser, and that has made him a significant contender. He also has the benefit which Joe Biden has of incumbency, in the sense that he's previously been a president, in his eyes unvanquished, and people are looking back rather nostalgically to that time before COVID, when interest rates were low, inflation was low, and unemployment was low. And although Joe Biden has brought the numbers on employment very low, inflation is still a huge problem. Gas prices, petrol prices are much higher than they used to be. And the world is in turmoil. And Donald Trump can legitimately say that there were no wars when he was president. Now, it doesn't mean that the world would be a peaceful place if he was in charge now, but there's no question that people see the world being a very, very troubling place. And I think they would love to go back to that pre-COVID era. And that, of course, is when Donald Trump was in charge.
Well, I think we'd all like a bit of time travelling. It's a bit of a theme of the show. We're doing a big section on the time traveller's wife later. I think we could all wish we could go back in time to pre-COVID times. And look, next week, Donald Trump looks like he will appear in court, and his daughter, Ivanka, will also appear in court. How big a deal is that going to be, Sarah?
Well, I'm not sure that this case is a huge deal. Obviously, if the Trump organization is prevented from selling, working as a company in New York, which is the likely outcome of this trial, that's very grave indeed. And of course, it's not just Donald Trump, but his children, Eric and Don, and very likely Ivanka, who's trying everything to not appear in court, but may well be forced to testify this week. The spectacle, of course, is extraordinary. The whole Trump family having to answer for fiddling things in their business affairs, but allegedly, of course. But the truth is, I think people do see this case as rather politically motivated, because nobody thinks that Donald Trump would be in court over his business dealings had he not been president. It's brought scrutiny. There's a significant difference between this civil action against the Trump organization, obviously, headed by Donald Trump, and the January 6 case and the claims of trying to steal the election.
Okay.
So that's a different one altogether.